Good evening, everyone. Today is September the 20th, 2023. My name is Michail Boncea. I am an independent blogger from Greater Vancouver area, British Columbia, Canada. I focus mostly on local British Columbia events, some Canadian and some international. A bit about me. I was, a few years ago, a sports photographer internationally and also a reporter. I cover the Vancouver Canucks of National Hockey League, WHL, the Vancouver Giants of Western Hockey League, WHL. I also was the official photographer for a few events for the Canadian Army. Over 3 years, the official photographer for Delta Islanders Junior A lacrosse team, the official photographer for Memorial Cup and Man Cup, representing the local area. There were other photographers, obviously, from different areas and different companies. And last but not least, official photographer for the Newsminster Arts Council for a few years. For personal reasons, I took about 6.5 years off, and now I'm back blogging because I miss the business this much. The blogging part, it is different. The reason is, instead of being behind the camera and asking the questions, you're in front of the camera. So it's taking a bit for me to adjust. I saw the growing pains myself. Trust me, I'm my worst critic that you can come up with. But now, about 2 months into it, I can start saying that I'm starting to look okay, and I'm looking forward to see the growth in both people that watches my videos Monday to Friday and sometimes Saturday or Sunday, but as well as the likes and the subscription button. Please subscribe if you like what I post, or click the like button. The reason it costs you nothing, but it allows me to have my videos showcased above other videos. It all depends on how many likes and how many subscriptions you have. I'm also looking for content. So if you happen to have content, like running a live event, it could be a parade, ethnic music festival, it could be, say, a card sports show, or a marathon, any kind of live event, ethnic, you name it. Please let me know and contact me, and then I'll add it, and for free, may I add. I'm not charging anything, but I'll add it for free into one of my upcoming videos. If you happen to own a business that is active in Greater Vancouver especially, but also in BC, let me know, and again, I'll cover it for free in one of my Monday to Friday videos. I do have a limit. There is one rule, that if the event is controversial, like there's an event happening very soon, I was contacted to add it and I decided not to add it. The reason is, it's too much of a controversial event and I'm trying to stay away from controversial events, especially since I'm brand new again. So, but out of 100 requests, I will say maybe just one, if one, I will say no to. So just contact me. It costs you nothing, and you get a free advertising as an added bonus. Now, if you own a company and you have a product that you want me to test the product, contact me, send it to me, and then we can talk about it. Moving on, let's start with the news. A Portmoody person who owns the NW location at Johnson Street, his name, Rogers Milad, hopefully I pronounced it right. He wants to build a combination of strata and 30 rental units. The rental units will be available at below market rates. Along with that, he wants a commercial spaces at street level and offices on the second floor, and the A&W burger restaurant to stay at the bottom with a drive-through, which is causing some controversy because some locals are saying it is traffic problem. He also owns another A&W at Coquitlam Pine Tree Village, and as well as several other businesses. For the record, I love the A&W matcha burger. I was not paid to say that. I'm saying that because I truly love that burger. Vanna White, my mom and my dad will be very happy to hear this because they watch Wheel of Fortune every day, has signed a contract that will run through 2025 and 2026 year to still continue being the co-host of Wheel of Fortune with Ryan Seacrest, now replacing Pat Sajak. The Shipyard Festival, which is a music festival in North Vancouver in an area that I really like, which is Kate's Court, will be car-free. It will be part of the TransLink, pedestrian-friendly only, and will take place on September the 23rd. I heard there's other festivals in the area run by TransLink. I'll try to see if I can find them out. This one was sent by one of my friends because me being in Greater Vancouver, most of my friends on Facebook especially, where I have over 5,000 friends, and other platforms are from the area, and they know I'm looking for content, and they know I'm not charging anything, so they send it to me. And that's exactly what I said. If you have a live event or a local company, send it to me, cost you nothing, I'll mention it. Canada, this is Canadian news, is spending $3 billion. I don't know if it's a loan or if it's a donation. That is not clear. It says all it said was a $3 billion deal to finance a brand new nuclear power plant in Romania so that Romanians can supply themselves with electricity, because electric cars need electricity to run on. And the deal also is part of that electricity to go to other European Union nations, because Romania is part of European nation, EU, to supply at least some of the need that is lost because of the Russian embargo on, or the European, depends who you listen to. It could be the Russians saying that the European Union, or the European Union saying the Russians. There is an embargo on electricity and gas from Russia coming towards Europe, and Europe is desperate with upcoming winter to get at least something going. This power plant will probably not be production for 2-3 years, but at least they know in 2-3 years they'll get a massive power plant. This is what we need to build in Canada, because all these new electric cars in Canada will require electricity. Electric cars run in what? Electricity. So we need to make sure that we have enough electricity. If we want our people to drive electric cars, there's already a problem in summertime with demands in British Columbia even. Don't turn on your AC units other than on this time of the day. With all these new electric cars, there's going to be power outages, guaranteed, like California is facing. So we need to start building other dams, electricity, which is environmentally not as good, but we can build them. We have enough water and enough territory. Or nuclear, and we can build them as well somewhere far away from the cities and provide the electricity that we will need if you want to turn Canada in a full electric generation car. 3 SUVs, compact. If you like them, buy them, because they'll probably be gone by the end of this year, if not next year for sure. Reason is, in the US market, they only sold less than 10,000 units for the first up to this time. I'm assuming when they say up to this time, it's not September, It could be June. Still, in 6 months, they sold less than 10,000 units. Those 3 SUVs are not cheap ones, and that's the surprise part. They're the Buick Encore, which is probably the cheapest of all, Cadillac Lyric, and Lincoln Corsair. A truck hit the main street overpass in the late evening on Trans-Canada Highway in North Vancouver, leading to the Highway 1. It was closed at the moment when I was writing this article, the eastbound, on Tuesday night. It could have been reopened by now. Chipotle, the Mexican Grill, to open 2 new locations in Surrey in this fall. They're opening 10 locations across Canada. I was surprised. I expected for them to open more locations, but still 10 locations. The 2 locations in Surrey are, one at King George Hub. That will be the first one to open. And later on in the year, it will be at Fleetwood Village. Chinese demand for fish, Mao. Now, if I mispronounce this, it's MAW, which is the swim bladder of the fish. It has now created a boom industry in Uganda. Now, it's estimated, like I said, about 2,000 fishing boats are now active in Uganda to fish for fish. The larger the fish, the more money they make from the swim bladder of the fish. It's dried, but apparently I saw the documentary on YouTube and I was shocked. They get the fish, they don't even cut it, nothing, and then they bring the fish to be cut, and the fish is basically used just for the swim bladder, and the rest of it, from the documentary, it didn't seem clear, but it looked like the fish was thrown away after they got the bladder. On average right now, a fisherman in Uganda in return makes about $4,000 American a month, to which they replied, it's a lot of money in Uganda. Well, it's a lot of money in Canada as well, because 4,000 means about what, over 5,000 Canadian a month. That's $60,000 they make. So it's a good business. Unfortunately, the fear is, like, they overfish the tuna, because of Japanese market, they overgonna fish, and the shark market for the Chinese market. After the shark market for the Finns, this seems to be the next target. We'll see in a few years from now. Snow has returned into the higher altitudes of the alpine areas in British Columbia. They say across British Columbia, the Weather Canada, which includes the White Ski Resort near Kelowna. Highway 17A overpass in Delta will be fixed by next year. Work will start this November. It was hit by a big truck collision, and unfortunately, it's still operational from what I hear, but it still has to be fixed properly. This is a sad thing. I don't expect this in Canada, but lately anything can happen anywhere in the world. West Vancouver police were called at the report at 11:15 p.m. on Tuesday, as it was a bus headed east past Eagle Harbor in the 5,700 block of Marine Drive near Thunderbird Marina. The driver and 2 elderly women were repeatedly attacked by a passenger. The details the police have not released. When I was writing this, I'm assuming because it's probably still under investigation. Like I was saying earlier, everybody's laughing at BYD and Geely. Geely has just announced that they built and they're going to release in China. I'm sure they'll be going soon to Africa, South America, and Eastern European countries. Maybe in the West too, but an updated version, because Geely owns Volvo, so why would they flood the market with cheap cars when they can make way more money selling you and me Volvos? Geely revealed that the Panda Knight, that's what the car is called, Panda Knight. It's a mini SUV. It is going to be selling in the Chinese market for only 6,800 American. It has pretty much everything that most basic new SUVs electric have, but as the market will look at it, they will see Geely and they're gonna go, oh, I'm not touching it. Most people already are saying, from the friends I'm talking to, that it is going to be a very good first car. 6,800 instead of paying 30 or more for an SUV. Plus also it's going to be a very good work car. Run it to the ground, who cares? You paid less than what, 30% of a real North American built car, and it's built by the same company who's building the Volvos that are coming to North America. So it cannot be that bad, but time will tell. A joint venture between a car maker, Chinese, BYD again. BYD is in the news so often lately that pretty much I sound like I'm talking about PIF and BYD mostly. BYD and the Shell oil company, have built the largest, and I mean the largest, new charging station / gas station. It will have 258 new charging stations. On top of that, the regular gas station for Shell. And also it will have a solar canopy set up, which will generate 300,000 kilowatts of electricity every year. It is built in Shaanxi City, Southeast China. This news comes from Europe, and this is gonna scare a lot of people that work as bus drivers. If this works, it will be like Uber destroyed the taxi market to a point. This is going to destroy the bus companies to a point. It is autonomous bus. It looks small. It looks like about 12 to maybe 16 people, maybe even less. They already are on the market. They're being tested on UK and the Czech market. It is called the Aurigo Autoshuttle. It's now being tested, like I said, in UK and Czech market. It is owned by Aurigo and is based in United Kingdom, UK. Earlier today, a gas leak. This is local news. A gas leak affected around 60 clients, according to Fortis BC. But the repairs are done. Location was on 28th Avenue and Danvers Street. When I was writing this, they were getting ready to send repair people from Fortis BC to open the gas lines. This is scary because the amount of loss, there is no way you can justify it. And this is from a US. American Dream Mega Mall, which was built in October 2019, to be precise, which is owned partly by this I'm gonna butcher. I try to say it, but Germezian family, which also owns majority of Minnesota Mall of America. In 2022, it lost $245 million American. It's a mall. It has attraction, yes, besides being a mall. But how are you going to get into profitability when you lose $250,000 and you're a mall? You have, yes, 3.5 million square feet of shopping and entertainment center. But this mall, I think, is going to enter on a dire needs unless they find something like Amazon supply chain to come in there, some mega thing, because you can't afford to lose this kind of money every year and stay in business. This doesn't come to a shock or to surprise anyone. I live in Greater Vancouver. There is a massive Sikh community in Vancouver, especially in Delta, Surrey, and in Burnaby. Many of my friends are from that community. But what surprised me was that it was announced that it's the second largest Sikh community anywhere in the world outside India. In Canada, 770,000 Canadians declare themselves as being of Sikh religion, while in India, 22 million people declare themselves being as Sikh of religion wise. The most people of this religion, of Sikh religion, live in northern state of Punjab. The news popped up because of the controversy of India killing one of their top opposition in exile. Supposedly, India is asking the Canadian government to apologize for saying that. The Canadian government is saying India has to collaborate. So it's going nowhere. Let's just leave it at honesty. This is going to go on and on. Move on. Bison is adding its third location in Telus Garden, located in downtown Vancouver. It will have pastries, coffee, and sandwiches. That location stayed idle from what I heard from who contacted me since 2021 late or 2022 early. So it's been idle for a while. Location wise, it's great. So I don't know why it was staying that long empty. Breaking news. I got friends of mine who are of Armenian descent. I have nothing against Azerbaijani people. They're great people like any other nation in the world. But breaking news, the Armenian army fighting in Nagorno-Karabakh has surrendered. And this is coming in the last 2 hours officially. They have surrendered, and the whole army has surrendered, and they're doing negotiations with the Kazakhstan government so that they can rejoin Kazakhstan. And obviously, I'm assuming Kazakhstan is going to give the Armenians full rights, like they did the Armenians that are already in Kazakhstan. They have also full rights. But this is a blow to Armenia, no matter how they're going to try to twist it. The war only lasted less than 24 hours. Nagorno-Karabakh, the Armenian area, asked US for help. The US didn't even bother to reply back for them. That was less than about 6 to 7 hours before the whole army surrendered to the Kazakh army. Last on the wire. This is sad, and it's a local event, not event, but local news. Our hospitals are, and I've been saying this since I started doing blogging, we need to grow our hospitals. And even if we build hospitals, if we don't have the nurses and the doctors, what's the point of building them? Just so that we can say, hey, look, there is a big billion-dollar hospital that the emergency room is closed because there's no doctors or no nurses? A family had to hire a private care person for their dad at the Saanich Peninsula Hospital. Reason is it doesn't have enough nurses to take care of the patients. And they're doing the best they can, but it's still expensive. They're paying now, out of their own pocket, $850 a month to have the 82-year-old dad, I'm assuming grandfather, but dad, for 2 hours twice a week to have somebody come take care of him, I guess wash him, feed him. That's sad. This is Canada. This should have never happened in our country. And things are getting from worse to worse. And everybody's pointing the finger at each other and saying, well, it's the federal problem. No, it's the provincial problem. We're just opening a new hospital of cancer, and I love that because I just went through cancer surgery. It's needed. But if we don't have the nurses and the doctors to staff the hospital, we're just building things that we... In Toronto, there is, in many areas, there is no more emergency rooms opened. In any hospital almost. You have to drive around from hospital to hospital to find out which hospital has an emergency room opened. This is dire to Canada. We like to take care of other people like Ukraine. That's wonderful. But we should first take care of our own people. We should never have to hire private people to take care of sick people. I'm lucky. I was treated very well in the hospital, but that's because I was mobile to a point. And I didn't give up. I will take whatever, the walker, after the surgery. And that was the first day. And I did it because I didn't want to stay in bed. They're like shocked. I went and I got myself stuff. Well, that comes to the news for today. I will broadcast one hopefully this evening. For today's news, I know this is a delayed for yesterday's news. But I had some news that were just coming in literally less than 3 hours ago. So you can call it delayed or not, but I'm doing the best I can. I'm only one person and I'm doing this part-time. I am looking forward though in the future, like I said, to grow it to full-time. If you like my content, please subscribe. Please click the like link. It costs you nothing, but it will allow more people to view my videos that I broadcast Monday to Friday, and also will allow me to have more time as things grows to add more and more content and maybe do even live shows. Thank you very much for watching. You can find me on all the platforms, the main platforms, under Michail Boncea, MichailBoncea, under Rumble and YouTube. You can find the full videos. You can find the 10-minute videos on Facebook, Instagram, and there is a link also on Pinterest, not Pinterest, on Twitter, X. Thank you very much again, and see you all later today.